Alright guys, here are my 2012 NHL predictions for the first round. First, you got the number 1 seed Vancouver Canucks and the number 8 seed Los Angeles Kings in the West. Now, I think this is an easy choice. It's going to be Vancouver. I just don't think LA can cope with the powerhouse that Vancouver is. I mean, you look at LA, I think the reason they're in the playoffs is quick. I mean, they do have some talent on offense. They do have some talent on defense. But all around, no, I don't think they're going to make it past the first round. Maybe if they had maybe they had won their division, they could have taken on Chicago. But I still don't think they would have beat Chicago. So I'm sorry, LA, but it's going to be Vancouver in 5. They might win one game, but Vancouver in 5. Alright guys, now you got the St. Louis Blues against the San Jose Sharks. Now, this is going to be an interesting series, but overall, St. Louis has the better team, and so they're going to win this series. Now, if you look at what they have a stellar goalie in Halak. Actually, stellar goalies, yeah, plural, because they also got Elliott there. Then San Jose, what do they have? I mean, they got Big Joe. They got some good forwards, but not enough to cope with A, the St. Louis defense, and B, St. Louis goaltenders. And St. Louis has probably one of the most underrated offenses in the NHL, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at their roster, maybe one of them's a 30-goal scorer, maybe a couple or 20-goal scorers, but every player on that team pitches in to get some goals. And, that's how they succeed. They don't have any Sidney Crosbys. They don't have any Alexander Ovechkins. They don't have superstars on their offense, but they're able to get it done, and they're going to be able to get it done against San Jose. I'm picking St. Louis in 6. Alright guys, now we got the number 3 seed Phoenix Coyotes against the number 6 seed Chicago Blackhawks. Now this is just a weird matchup. This is just weird how Phoenix got 3rd seed and Chicago got 6th seed. But it's the NHL. If you win your division, you get one of the top 3 seeds, and that's what Phoenix did. I would have predicted at the beginning of the season, if you told me this, I'd be like, no, you got it wrong. I think Phoenix should be 6th seed, but whatever. Phoenix gets the home ice advantage. I think Phoenix. This is the one I'm gonna take a risk here. I'm gonna go against Chicago. I'm gonna pick Phoenix Coyotes. They're really good. At least down the stretch after the trade deadline, they got depth. What about that guy Whitney? Doan's there. They got Bo Edker, who's a good young guy. He's going to be good for them in the future. They got some solid D. I mean, Smith as their goaltender, he's okay, but I think he can still do it. I think he is going to be good for them in the playoffs. The reason I'm not picking Chicago, I mean, they kind of had at times an off year. They were kind of streaky at points, and I just think Phoenix is the overall better team, so I'm going to go with Phoenix in, 6 games. Yeah, Phoenix in 6. Alright guys, to wrap up the Western Conference, you got the Nashville Predators as the 4th seed against the Detroit Red Wings as the 5th seed. Now this is going to be a good series, and I know I've picked all the top seeds so far in the Western Conference, and I'm going to go with number 4 seed Preds on this one. I mean, I really like the Predators, so there might be a bit of bias there, but based on last night, how Detroit played Chicago, it wasn't that great, and I mean, I just think Predators are solid. Look at the depth they picked up at the trade deadline. I said it, probably in one of my BGM series videos. They had the best of the trade deadline. If you do good at the trade deadline, you're going to do good in the playoffs, and that's just that. They're another team who could make it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, at least past the first round. I'm saying they beat Detroit. It's just they got Pecorine, he's great. They got good defense. Weber, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry, leading the way on D, and then they got a bunch of depth in offense, and again, not necessarily 40-goal scorers, maybe one 30-goal scorer. I didn't look at really the stats, but they are a solid team on offense. And, I'm taking the Preds in 6. Alright, guys, now we're taking a look at the Eastern Conference with Eastern Conference champion New York Rangers against the 8th seed Senators. I think it's an obvious pick. You're gonna have to take the Rangers here. They're great all around. They're one of the better American hockey teams. If you look at like hockey teams like who are American in the NHL, you go right to the New York Rangers as one of the top 3 in the NHL, and they just represent. They're an original 6 team, and they just represent what American hockey is all about. Power. And it's not necessarily finesse. It's like there's hitting, there's fighting, and there's obviously power forward. Their captain, Callahan, there in the picture. There is a power forward, and that's what they are. I mean, Dubinsky, he's a power forward kind of guy too, and they're just gonna overrun the young Senators. The Senators are too young to make a run for the Cup this year. 2-3 years, yeah, they'll win a cup most likely, but not this year. I'm taking the Rangers in a sweep. That's right, Rangers in just 4. Sorry, Sens, but that's how it's gonna be. Hey guys, now we got the Bruins, my hometown team, the Bruins. So there's obviously some bias there. They're gonna overrun the Caps. They just got so much depth. And even with the injuries to the defense, McQuaid's not there. You also got Nathan Horton out. Boychuk has a strained knee. He might miss Game 1. Hopefully he'll be back in time for Game 1. But, and then their offense is pretty good. They got Sagan and Marchand leading the way for the scoring there. Lucic is up there. You always got Char, who can be iffy at times, so he's good. You got Seinberg on D. You got Ferentz on D. All these guys, most of this entire team was with them when they won the Cup, so they know what it takes to make a long run in the playoffs. Now, Caps, I think they made it past the first round for last year. Good for them. They're not making it past this year. It's going to be another drought for them. I mean, if you look at their team, who's the player that pops out? Ovechkin. Anybody else? No, not really. They don't really have any players, other than him, who can lead their team to a Stanley Cup. I mean, throw them on any other team, yeah, they might go. Well, not any other team, throw them on another one of the playoff teams, yeah, they go to the Cup. They go to the Cup Finals. They win the Cup. But with their team right now, sorry, they're not going to win. I'm going to take the Bruins in 5. Alright, guys, now you got the number 3 seed Florida Panthers and the number 6 seed New Jersey Devils. So if you look at this series, this is the wild card series, kind of like, these two teams, like, if you told me they're going to be in the playoffs this year, I wouldn't have believed you. But, they are. I mean, I haven't really paid much attention to the Devils, but they're there. They're going to win this series. Florida doesn't have, if you look at their roster, not a lot of those guys have ever been in the playoffs. If you look at New Jersey, maybe not a lot of them either, but they got their goaltender Brodeur as the veteran, who's obviously been in the playoffs before, has led his team far into the playoffs, and he knows what it takes to go deep into the playoffs. And I think it just, if you look on the roster on paper, Florida versus Rangers, not Rangers, Devils got it. I mean, they're just gonna overrun Florida. I'm sorry, but that's how it's gonna be. But kudos to Florida for winning the Southeast and getting into the playoffs for the first time in over a decade, I'm pretty sure, and the first time they've ever won their division. So good job to them. But the Devils are going to make it to the second round. So yeah, it will be an interesting series, I think. But the Devils will overall win it in 5. Alright, guys, last but not least, you got the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, this is going to be the most entertaining, the best series in this first round by far. And just look at the picture there. These two teams hate each other. It's like this rivalry is like Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees for baseball. LA Lakers against the Celtics, it's that big of a rivalry. And based on what happened last Saturday or last Sunday or whatever day it was, there's going to be some bad blood there. They took care of some of it yesterday on Saturday, but they still got some unfinished business, and they're going to take it off in playoff hockey. The atmosphere for playoff hockey is perfect for this rivalry. Just it goes like twice as fast, twice as hard hitting, and it's just so intense that there's gonna be some sparks, and it's tough. It really is to who's gonna win this series. And it's going to be a 7-game series. I think it's going to be the only 7-game series this round. And who do I pick? I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Penguins on this one, guys. It's just Malkin, you got Crosby, you got all those guys. So Pittsburgh in 7. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Let me know your predictions and stay tuned for my second round predictions. See you guys next time.